welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global TV, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anita Patrick. The federal government has intensified monitoring and screening at all entry points at the Democratic Republic of Congo as the Democratic Republic of Congo battles a fresh Ebola outbreak that has claimed at least 16 lives, including 4 health workers in Kassia province. Director of Port Health Services at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Akpan Nse, said additional personnel have been deployed to strengthen border surveillance in Nigeria amid heightened risks due to international travel links with the DRC. While the World Health Organization confirmed it has released $500,000 to support response efforts, health officials noted that laboratory tests in Kinshasa confirmed the Ebola Zero strain, with WHO Chief Tedros Ghebreyesus warning that the outbreak adds to a region already struggling with cholera, malnutrition, and displacement. Popular content creator Kelvin Black has urged Nigerian youth to rise above tribalism, ethnicity, and social vices so as to hold leaders accountable and demand good governance. In an exclusive interview with Global Television, the satirical comedian popularly known as Governor Amunike emphasized that Nigerians' progress depends on the active participation of young people. Ubong Usoro reports.
Kelvin Black rose to fame through political satire on social media platforms including Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. His popular Governor Amunike series mirrors African politics and governance, blending humor with social commentary.
Generally, the youth can do something about it. We can, if we want. I know, and they'll tell you that Nigeria is a very docile, they have a very docile people. Because go to other countries, look at what is going on. You see the way the election is being conducted, broad daylight robbery, and everybody just busy doing one or two things. If you go online, they are busy with things that are not relevant. So there's this syndrome that people are tired of, expecting this change every year.
Speaking on the role of the youth, Governor Amunike stressed that division along tribal and ethnic lines weaken their collective powers. He called for unity, saying that young Nigerians must recognize their strengths as the majority of the population.
The social ill is concentrated more on that, because if we get it right, a lot will change. A lot generally will change.
According to him, unless young people move beyond vices and distractions, they will remain powerless in the face of bad leadership. He added that true development can only come when youth unite to demand accountability, inclusiveness, and good governance. Governor Amunike says his mission is not just to entertain, but to educate and inspire Nigerian youth using satire as a tool for social change. Ubong Usoro, reporting for Global TV.
From the bustling streets of the Federal Capital Territory to communities across the globe, Muslims marking a day of reflection, devotion, and celebration to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sadiat Yakubu completes the story.
Maulud is observed on the 12th day of Rabiul Awal, the 3rd month of Islamic lunar calendar. It marks the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, in Mecca around the 570 Common Era, a day that changed the course of history. The occasion holds deep spiritual meaning for many. It is a period of prayer, learning, and reflection on the life and teachings of Islam's final prophet.
The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, who is the founder, the leader of Islam, the prophets of Allah, brought Islam into this world. Is call Allah Ta'ala fi Kitab al-Aziz. Almighty Allah say in his book that لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. And this prophet we have sent to you, we sent to the world the blessing a big blessing. What is the blessing? The blessing is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
The Prophet Muhammad's life was one of a companion, justice, humility, and truth. From his early days as an orphan to his role as a reformer and a statesman, his message of mercy continues to inspire over 1 billion people today. His birth is a reminder of the moral compass he left behind: honesty in trade, fairness in leadership, and patience in adversity.
Maulud is a very important occasion in the history of Islam. It's very, very significant. It marks the birth of the Prophet, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So at every 12th of Rabiul Awal, the Muslim gather to celebrate the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
In Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt, Indonesia, Pakistan, and many other nations, Maulud is marked with processions, lectures, poetry, and communal prayers. Homes and mosques are adorned with lights and banners, and streets echo with praises for the prophets.
Thanks to this government, we have a public holiday which is quite now common. So every year we get to have this particular day as a free day for everybody to be able to go and worship, be with your family. Some of us can travel to our states. We all came here for work. Some of us are not based here, so we'll be able to go and spend time with our family, pray and everything.
In some countries, it is a public holiday. In others, it's a private or community affair, with Muslims gathering to recite the Quran, sing qasidas, devotional songs, and engage in charity. Sadiya Yakubu, Global Television.
Labour Party has criticized President Bola Tinubu's frequent foreign trips, warning that his long absences are impractical at a time Nigeria is grappling with worsening economic hardship and insecurity. In a statement, the party's interim National Publicity Secretary, Tony Akeni, said the president's current 10-day working vacation in France and the United Kingdom underscores what he described as Tinubu's allergy to staying at home to tackle the nation's problems. The Labour Party spokesman noted that the foreign trips come against the backdrop of rising inflation, a weakening naira, widespread insecurity, and the World Bank's recent data showing that 135 million Nigerians had slipped into poverty in Tinubu's first 18 months in office. The governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, has introduced scholarship programs, women empowerment initiatives, and financial support for families of fallen security personnel who paid the ultimate price while serving the state. Felicity Nderi tells us more.
At a solemn gathering with families of officers who died in active service, Governor Hyacinth Alia announced a support package of 5 million naira each for 76 families.
We would support each family at the start with a sum of 5 million naira.
The governor said the gesture would help families rebuild their lives while honoring the sacrifices of the fallen heroes, as he urged top security officers to intensify efforts in restoring and sustaining peace across Benue State.
Whether they are within the state here or the spouses have gone back to their various states, I'm following them to wherever they are. So I will give skills acquisition to the spouses and then give them startups in the small businesses. And then with the children, I'm going to give them scholarships. Once you're sent to come and serve in the state, we are working with you on the one that you come in, and the very last day, should any eventuality happen, we are there still with you.
Chairperson of the Police Wives Association, POA, Benue State Chapter, thanked the governor for his support and acknowledged the risks of policing in Nigeria and appealed for additional assistance.
On behalf of POA, to appreciate you for the unwavering support you give to our husbands, the police officers, and other security agencies in Benue State.
Beneficiaries also expressed gratitude to the Alia-led administration for the support.
And life has been very tough for me. I have 2 children. So today I am very, very happy. I'm very happy. But this is first time, so this can pay my 2 children's school fees. I want what next. If I can have a place to park out of the Barab State with my children, I'll be very, very happy. I thank God for the governor.
With the scholarships, empowerment programs, and financial assistance, Governor Alia says his administration remains committed to honoring the sacrifices of security personnel while building a safer and more prosperous Benue State. At the Government House in Makurdi, Felicity Ndare, Global TV News.
As conversations around artificial intelligence gain momentum globally, a Nigerian media organization is stepping up to put the issue on the front burner. Saban Media Services, producers of the TV program Policy with Leah on Global Television, has held its inaugural colloquium in Abuja with a focus on artificial intelligence policy in Nigeria. Our correspondent Ubong Usara reports.
The independent media outfit organized a colloquium, Team AI Policy in Nigeria, Navigating Opportunities and Challenges for National Development. The gathering brought together stakeholders from government, academia, media, and civil society to deliberate on how AI can drive national growth. The managing director, Saban Communication, Leah Katum Babatunde, says the aim of the colloquium is to spark conversations on AI's role in Nigeria's development. She said the discussions will translate into actions that influence political and social change.
We're going to have a better society when we are part of the solution. If we keep consuming, for instance, in the media space, consuming information that we can't differentiate which is genuine and which is fake, including professionals like me, we can't differentiate them, then it means that the issues we have will continue to repeat themselves.
In his keynote address, Emmanuel Edith, Director of Legal Services at the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, said artificial intelligence is transforming the systems worldwide, and Nigeria must not be left behind.
Your thinking, it shapes your activity, and it also drives inclusive development if it's properly used, and that's where we have our interests as NIDA.
Professor Mohamed Ladan of the Regional Economics added that Africa must move from being passive consumers of technology to active participants in its design, regulation, and application.
Businesses need to know, all right, the private sector must drive, the application and the use or utilization of AI. They are not responsible for development. They may be actually part of the service providers, but the responsibility of creating an enabling environment that is safe, secured, inclusive, transparent, and at the same time, assuring all stakeholders.
As Nigeria explores the possibilities of artificial intelligence, conversations like this colloquium are setting the stage for policies that could shape the nation's future. The challenge is now is turning dialogue into action to ensure technology becomes a tool for development rather than division. Ubong Usoro, reporting for Global Television.
Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State has cautioned opposition politicians against politicizing insecurity, warning that claims that bandits could be carpet bombed out of existence are misleading and deceptive. The governor gave the charge at the public presentation of Where I Stand, a book written by the late Sheikh Abubakar Muhammad Gumi and translated into Arabic by Sheikh Ibrahim Jallo Jalingo. Armed bandits in Katsina State killed at least 7 people during a night raid on Maganji Wando village, according to a press release from the state's Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs. The attack, which occurred between 11 p.m. and midnight on Friday, was repelled by the local Community Watch Corps, a volunteer security group. During the initial attack, the CWC managed to drive the bandits away. However, as the corps members were transporting the injured to a hospital, they were ambushed by the same group of criminals. The ministry statement confirmed that a fight ensued during the CWC's vehicle, which the CWC vehicle was riddled with bullets and later set ablaze. The corps members were able to escape the ambush. Nigeria has been challenged to stop being just a consumer of global technology, but begin positioning itself as a hub for innovation and incubation. At the National Leadership Conference 2025 in Abuja, United Nations Program Country Representative Else Atafo stressed that Nigeria's future depends on bold leadership in technology and innovation. Sadia Yakubu was on ground and tells us more.
The United Nations Development Program Country Representative Else Atafo noted that the country's young people are already shaping global trends in music, fashion and film, adding that similar strides can be made in technology if the right leadership and support structures are in place. Atafo emphasized that in today's world, leadership is no longer defined by borders but by the impact individuals and nations are able to create.
This is both an opportunity and a challenge to ensure that our mineral wealth does not fuel conflict or exploitation, but instead powers inclusive growth, technological advancement, and energy security for the future. And finally,
also speaking, the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Gautamiyon, said Europe's focus in West Africa remains on sustainable development and partnership. He assured that the European Union is committed to working with Nigeria and ECOWAS to promote regional stability and shared growth.
We need you at least as much as you need us, and so we can achieve a lot together. International assistance can just be an accelerator of domestically impulsed sustainable development through long-term good public policies. So the future of Nigeria lies in the hands of Nigerians, not of the EU or the international community.
Founder and president of the Gotni Leadership Center, Dr. Linus Okoye, and the Director General Nigerian Army Resource Center, Major General Garba Ayodeji Wahab, urged Nigerians to take ownership of building the nation they want, rather than relying on...
The world is not going to fix our problem. Our problem is going to be fixed by Nigerians, and for Nigerians' problem to be fixed, you need leaders, critical mass of leaders in private sector and public sector who are creative, who are visionary, who have a sense of duty and commitment to make a big difference for our great country. Nations of the...
As a leader, you need to be mindful of others' perspectives, because whatever decision you want to take, whether you have competitors from elsewhere. Secondly, it's not all that you read or see that is actually true. So you must have the mind to think through whatever you are seeing or reading.
This year's conference highlighted the urgent need for Nigeria to harness the energy of its youth and leverage international partnerships in order to secure a prosperous future. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television.
You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, fuel scarcity looms as Nupeng Dangote clash. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. In business, welcome back. In business, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has warned of a looming nationwide fuel supply crisis as tankers drivers plan to halt fuel loading from Monday 8 September. The dispute stems from the Dangote refinery's plan to deploy 4,000 CNG-powered fuel trucks whose drivers are reportedly being recruited under conditions forbidding union membership, a move Nupeng calls a violation of labor rights. With the refinery set to proceed with its distribution rollout, the union has appealed to the federal government and regulatory authorities to intervene before the downstream fuel distribution is severely disrupted. Boiled or roasted corn is one of the most common sights during the rainy season, with many Nigerians patronizing it either for taste, satisfaction, or its nutritional value. Our correspondent, Zarau Nasiru, takes a look at the patronage levels, the sources of supply, and the challenges faced by corn sellers.
Medical experts say corn provides lots of benefits, such as easy digestion due to its high fiber content, improves vision, and also supports the heart by regulating cholesterol and blood sugar levels. In this special report, we walk you through how Nigerians patronize boiled and roasted corn, especially during the peak of the rainy season when it's been harvested from the farms.
Corn remains a popular street food across Nigeria, often sold boiled or roasted to customers who enjoy it as a snack or a light meal. Vendors in Abuja say patronage fluctuates despite its popularity. Some of them lament what happens when they are left with unsold corn at the end of the day.
I dash people. I used to dash people the leftover. Yes, I used to dash people because if I dash people, the blessing that they will give me, I will now borrow, or I have some cash, I will now buy it somewhere again.
Yeah, we used to buy it for dry season, but we used to go. It's only in the rain season that we used to sell it. Like now, it's very expensive, and you see manage it like that. Like now, the market is not too good.
The sellers also share insights on where they source their corn. While some get it directly from farms, others rely on the markets, each with its own set of challenges.
This season, the corn don't they finish. Our season is something April, May. So we used to, yes, used to use buy corn for that season as May, April. As this season, the corn don't they finish. Yes, some people, they are not used to buy it like before that we used to sell as that April, May. So some people know they used to buy it like that again.
People they buy for me well for this season. I thank God for that. I see market every day. I thank God this month I sell my market finished.
With more people demanding corn during the rainy season, sellers say prices are rising, making it increasingly difficult to sustain their business. Zahra Nasr reporting for Global TV News.
And on the foreign scene, the United Nations has accused both Congo's armed forces and Rwanda's backed M23 rebels of committing heroic crimes, including gang rape, sexual slavery, torture, summary executions, and the killing of civilians during the ongoing conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. A new UN report covering March to August 2025 warned that the autocratic cities may account to war crimes and crimes against humanity, noting that more than 3,000 people have been killed since M23 fighters escalated the conflict with the capture of Goma earlier this year. And in sports, Super Eagles had played their match yesterday, but let's tell you other stories that that they had prepared their minds to read. But in going on with the matches, Nigeria led with the 3 points ahead of Rwanda and came out with 3-1 ahead of the games. And we wish them all the best as they prepare for the World Cup qualifiers, which has brought them in. Well, you saw the match yesterday, and that was what went down with the Super Eagles, where Aroko Diary led with the goal there in Super Eagles match against Rwanda at Uyo Stadium. And that's it on the AM News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. For all our news, kindly follow us on all our social media platforms now showing on your screen. I am Anita Patrick. Thank you for watching.
Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily.
Hello and welcome to Global Morning. It's still Global Morning every time you see our faces here. We're here to lighten up your weekend. It's a Sunday and the beginning of a new week, and we're excited to be on set this morning. I am Anita Patrick, and I have my co-anchor with me before I call him a guest again today. Hi, Mukhtar. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my beautiful, delectable Anita Patrick.
This hype is getting plenty.
No, you're what's the hype, you know? It's not just words.
Nice to have us back on set.
It's a beautiful Sunday, the first one in the month of September, and I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, what a way. You can't imagine, today is 7th already.
It is.
When was it we're saying get prepared for the Ember month?
And we're already in the Ember month. How time flies.
Really flies, really flies so fast. And we're excited to be here with you. You know, always as we have on the Global Morning Weekend, we have loads of exciting package to bring you. We have discussion segments. We have, did you know, I also have Sadia bringing us something interesting on the package today. I am sure you're looking forward to what we're going to be eating today, right?
I am certainly looking forward to it. You know, as a certified foodie that I am, I hope it's something really mouth-watering, delicious.
I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. So we're anticipating to see what Sadia has for us.
Our audience should not go anywhere because it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be very exciting to see you, to tell you what you can prepare for your Sunday, because it's Sunday and you need to get relaxed and sit at home. For those of you that are home, unlike us that were here to get your day going, it's Global Morning, and we have our newspaper review segment. We have a discussion, like we said, also bring you some things about aerobics and
today in history,
obviously. And so we'll quickly just take this quick break, and we'll come back. We'll start with the newspaper review, telling you what's making the news on the headlines of the newspapers. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
How to prepare fried plantain and egg sauce for breakfast. Hello everyone, and welcome to the program Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing delicious Nigerian delicacy, and we will be preparing it from scratch. Preparing fried plantain and egg sauce is essential for making Nigerian traditional. How to prepare fried plantain and egg sauce for breakfast. Hello everyone, and welcome to
We'll bring you that taste and texture. Just so much excitement to see what we wanted to eat. But let's start with newspaper review segments first, telling you what's happening around the world on our papers. But we'll start basically today with the Sunday Independence paper. And we have boldly written there where it says, concerns heighten over Aso Rock's increasing recourse to propaganda. And we have the writer that says, analysts false President Tinubu's claim of ending corruption. And also have the other one that says big holes in his declaration of being fair to all Nigerians. That's what the Sunday Independence is saying on its major headline there. I don't understand what's going on right now, because these people will always say this is what's happening because they have the policies, they have what's happening around them.
Of course, and critics can also see what you are saying is not what we see on ground. But like you said, these actions are these words rather that they are saying, are they
matching the actions?
Matching the actions? It's not by rhetorics.
Okay.
Nigerians can clearly see what's happening in the country.
Okay.
So it's not about the presidency coming out every day to make statements. Are the people feeling this impact? Because government, we know, is for the people, and the grassroots is important. What the people are saying, like they say, the voice of the people is the voice of God. So whatever the people are saying is most likely what's happening and what they are feeling in the country.
Anyway, let's move away from that and look at other stories making the rounds. Above the masthead there, we have Simon Ekpa's conviction has no bearing on Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Lawyers and activists speaking tough there.
Yes, we know Simon Ekpa has been convicted over there in Finland, and Nnamdi Kanu is still embattled in his own court cases in Nigeria. So analysts are saying there are no correlations between these cases, that there are two different cases. And I think they're actually separate cases, because one is outside the country, one here is in Nigeria.
Exactly.
So,
well, they'll find a way around all of those things, because all of this has to be fixed at some point, and we'll get the final result when it comes to judicial matters. But let's move away from that.
yeah, moving away from that to other stories still on the Independent. This one says Ebola outbreak, Nigeria on high alert, tightens security, activate emergency response, and that is from the NCDC.
Well, you know, Nigerians are very quick to tackle anything that has to do with all this disease, to ensure that we have safety. Following the last encounters we've had over the time.
Of course, you know, Ebola is something that has happened in Nigeria during the Goodluck Jonathan era, and it was a huge crisis. So I think this step right now is the right step in the right direction, because, you know, they say you have to nip it in the bud.
Exactly.
And we've seen what's happening in DR Congo with over 11 people dying so far from this particular disease. So I think the proactive measure they're taking right now would ensure that Nigeria is safe, or at least we do not have ourselves infected.
I like the fact that we're always proactive when it comes to this kind of disease, and ensuring that people are safe, because if it affects one, it affects all. So everyone has to get on the right step to ensure that everyone is safe.
Of course.
Kudos to NCDC.
And of course, NCDC cannot do it alone. We also have to cooperate by multi-stakeholder affairs. We also have to keep our environments clean. We have to do the needful in making sure that we do not get infected to this disease.
Okay, let's move away from the Ebola cases and tell you what's happening. We have visa revocation by U.S. government won't affect bilateral relations. That's experts speaking tough on page 4 of that paper. Well, a lot of concerns have been raised around the U.S. Visa and how people have been denied the visa to the U.S. But won't this really affect it?
It should affect it, certainly, because there's no how we would have cordial relations and you're denying our citizens visa into your country, especially if the reasons why they want to go into those countries are legit reasons.
Exactly.
If people have questionable reasons for going to the US, I don't have an issue with denying them visa. But if you are a Nigerian and the reason why you're going to the US is tangible, then I see no reason why the US should do that. And that should affect our relations between Nigeria and the United States.
Okay, but if they say it won't affect, well, time will tell. We'll know how far and how well Nigerians will survive all of that. But let's see the stories making the rounds. And we have gunmen on rampage in Edo, kill 8 NSCDC officials, kidnap expatriates. And we have the writer that says under it, adopt Edo line bus, Camry passengers on Benin Akure Highway. We also have 7 dead, many injured in Katsina bandits attack. Well, we were just talking about the issue of insecurity and the issue of banditry last week, where we had some good success stories. But
so now,
this is actually not, this is like a step.
Are we saying they're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back? Because in the past weeks, even before last week, the week before that, we were seeing good stories. The troops in the northeast and other parts of the country were making headways, but this is looking like a setback. So I think they have to re-strategize and go back to the drawing board in ensuring that Nigeria is safe.
Okay, well, the security operatives are actually doing their own quota. We always see where they have to go back to look at more strategies, more sane way to ensure that citizens are safe, and we wish them all the best, hoping that those who were taken can be brought back, because imagine a whole bus being taken off.
Honestly, it's not a good one.
There's a whole number of people inside that bus.
Doesn't speak good.
Hope they're safe, and we hope they return back to the loved ones okay. Let's move away from the Sun Independence and take other stories making the rounds with the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper, which has Sunday Vanguard boldly, there has its own story, which leads the headline there. It says, bumpy road to 2027. And it says, politicians plot to rig, INEC infiltrated, Tinubu shops for Yakubu's successor. We have other riders that are also going up around there, and we have other stories that says plotters mall printing of multiple identical results. We also have multiple result sheets plan to create disparities between polling units results and posts on IREF. Well, a lot of stories happening there. We also have voter registration exercise allegedly compromised. And he also says lessons from the US, Kenya, Ghana, and South Africa. And also have Yakubu and his promises. Tinubu Atiku clash over persecution of the opposition. That's a whole lot.
Honestly, that's so much to digest.
That's on page 9. And that's why it says, it started with the caption, it says, bumpy road to 2027.
It certainly is a bumpy road with this analysis that has been made, because we all know that Nigeria has always been clamoring for credible elections, but we have always had our challenges, and these are new perspectives to these challenges that are being brought forward. But I hope the stakeholders who are concerned, INEC, among others, will be able to surmount this.
I'm telling you, INEC is just being called in here, and then they're saying the president's shopping for his successor. So, but he's done his own quota, so even if he's leaving office, he has contributed his own quota.
Certainly he has.
So the next person has to just continue, and let's see how all of the leakages, according to this report, can be blocked, and see how the road will no longer be bumpy.
It should be a smooth sail to 2027.
Yes, smooth sail for 20. Because Nigerians really need this smooth sail. We don't need all of this bumpy
rides along.
I'm telling you. Other stories making the headlines there.
Yes, if you look above the masthead of the Sunday Vanguard, you'll see this one says, Jonathan opens up on eligibility to run again, says, I am unstoppable. And the writer below says, George sheds light on APC, INEC's failure to defend suit against the ex-president.
And that's on page 25 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also have other stories making the headlines there. It says, Nigeria's Gen Z creates own multi-million-dollar economy.
Of course.
But that's the good thing about the Gen Zs of this
era.
Right? I'm telling you, they're actually very, very excited about discovering new things and making getting good money out of it.
Especially with the advent of social media.
And also AI.
AI also. So technology has actually revolutionized the Nigerian youth.
And it has made earning and survival easy for most of them.
Much easier. Like we talked last week, many people have quit 9-to-5 jobs to concentrate on this new economy, which has actually become a new trend.
And it's generating good money for them.
Certainly is.
Well, we wish the Gen Z is the best.
But then we'll have to caution them to use it wisely.
Exactly.
Because many people abuse the privilege of using social media. It is a privilege, and the best you can do is to use it wisely. Use it to the best of your ability.
So for those using it wisely and also making ends meet, that's kudos to you, and see how you can syndicate this or drop it in other ones and build other capacity going around with you as well. But let's move away from that story and tell you that story is making the headlines. We have looming Fubara return. We have move for emergency rule extension collapses. Ibas gets order on handover notes. That's on page 5.
Yeah, this is, I think, I would say a win for democracy, because we've clamored for the people's choice to prevail. And the people have said, we voted this man out and we still want him to stay in office. So he's returning to office. I would say, like I said, it's a good one for democracy. And I hope he uses that opportunity and this second chance he has gotten to deliver the dividends of democracy for his people in River State.
Okay, we also have other stories also making the headline, Mukhtar.
Yes, other stories. This one says, bloody weekend, 102 dead in Edo, Borno, Sokoto, Katsina. And the writer here says, communities slay bandits, free victims. And that's on page 3 of the Sunday Vanguard.
Well, still talking about this issue of insecurity and the banditry issues happening there, we have in Edo, Borno, Sokoto, and Katsina, where it's actually not interesting because it's a bloody weekend, and that's really sad for Nigerians to have citizens just being slayed like that.
Honestly, it's a sad one, and we continue to see this like a recurring decimal every time. But of course, we have a bit of ray of sunlight, which says communities also slay bandits and free victims.
Exactly, that's how it should be. I think it's the time for
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
Welcome back. We actually sincerely apologize for that technical glitches there about the audio sound, but we're back here fully to give you all the rundown for today. Like we told you earlier, we're still talking about stories making the rounds on Sunday Vanguard newspaper, and we had other stories which we were leading with, and we have the story which still led us back to the issue happening with the bloody weekend of 102 dead in Edo, Borno, Sokoto, Katsina, showing that communities also have the right to assess communities slay bandits, free victims amidst this whole drama that played out over the weekend.
It's like we said, that's like a ray of sunshine amidst this cloud, and we hope that that is sustained, that tempo is sustained. People have to defend themselves.
Exactly.
There's no how you can assault people and ask them to lie down. They have to defend themselves, and I think that's a good one for me. Okay, well, we'll say kudos to the communities that stood up for themselves and ensure that they're safe and sound. Let's also tell you other stories making the rounds. We have Nigerians on red alert as Ebola rages in Congo. That's on page 5. Ebola has come in and Nigerians are not taking it slightly at all, as all measures are being put in place to ensure that everyone in Nigeria is safe and Ebola doesn't get in to disrupt people's lives. And just below that headline would see one which says, Owo massacres the Kika, survivors still carry scars. That is Aida Tiwa, the governor of Ondo State. Okay, well, there's still scars, but thank God we still have survivors out of the whole massacre that happened there. Well, we pray that everyone gets back on their feet and are doing well with themselves. Let's move on and tell other stories making the headline. Nigeria in darkness. How FG's 4 trillion naira debt aids blackout. Senate committee chair speaking of there on page 13. Well, we can have that kind of debt and not expect us to be in that blackout. It's not possible because that's a humongous debt. That's a serious one there. You can have that kind of amount, and there's need to scream. There exactly is. There is reason to scream with all of that playing out
for Nigerians there. But that's the story there, and we have other stories there.
The next headline says, amid selective justice claims, cases against ex-governors, others drag for years. That's on page 12.
Okay, well, we also have cases always happening in the courts. We have someone gets into politics, the next thing after your tenure, there's always a court case.
And then people say selective justice, that why are some people being treated as though they are much more equal than other people? Why are we not having the same measuring stick across board for everybody?
Maybe there's a time will come where there'll be an in-depth analysis to all of those indications playing out
because
about selective cases.
The problem is, if we have those things happening, development is going to be problematic. Just in the UK yesterday or 2 days ago, the Deputy Prime Minister had to step out from office for the fact that she had an issue with tax.
Okay.
We have those cases in Nigeria. People do not pay taxes. People in high office, and nothing happens. Nobody loses their
Sir, have you seen in Nigeria when someone steps out of office for one thing?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, let's move away from that conversation and talk about other stories. Well, that's the much we can take on the Vanguard. Let's quickly tell you other stories making headways with the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper has its own major headline that led the paper boldly there. It says, why we are yet to accord ADC recognition. That's INEC speaking tough there, telling you the reason why they've not accorded ADC any recognition there, and that stands out to be one of the major opposition party ahead of 2027. And INEC is saying we don't
recognize them.
We don't recognize them. And there's a writer that says party yet to communicate reports of NEC meeting rectifying new leadership. We also have, it says, Mark Aregbesola failed to submit specimen signature. So they've not complied with the guidelines, the regulations for INEC. So obviously INEC would not recognize them.
But the question is, these people, they know the game. They're not
new. They're not newbies.
So why are you not doing the right thing? Why are
you want to contest in 2027? You're standing as a major opposition party, and you're there throwing stones.
Will people take you serious?
Okay.
That's actually a question.
Let's just leave that story. We'll pick up the paper and get all the stories and find out reasons why INEC says we will not recognize, or we are not recognizing you yet.
So moving away from that story, above the mass headline, you'd see this cheering story actually that says Boko Haram. Oh, not cheering actually, a very sad one actually.
Boko Haram killed 63
in Borno. Troops launch nationwide offensive. That's a sad one. A continuing onslaught from what we've seen in other parts of the country. And the writer here says ground assault
eliminates 30 terrorists in Borno. Okay, so while all of this is also on the offensive side, and also
it's like saying one step forward, two step back, because the troops the Boko Haram killed 63 and the troops were able to get 33. So
okay. Well, the good thing is that they're trying to ensure that these people are safe. At the same time, it doesn't matter what the attack is like. They're trying to see that people are safe. But let's move away from security issues and all of that. Let's see what's happening away from that. We have 5% surcharge on fuel not intended to add to hardship. Oyedele speaking there.
It doesn't, but that's what it does actually for the people.
Well, pick up the copy of that paper and find out all of that. Let's tell you other stories.
Yes, below
talking about the president's vacation.
Yes,
let's take that.
It says Tinubu's vacation, government not grinding to halt. APC tells Obi, because we know Peter Obi came out and criticized the president that he's always traveling and leaving the country, and now APC is saying that even if he travels,
he's going on a walking visit.
Yes, and the country still moves on. They still have other people who are running the affairs of the nation. It's not as if the nation is on standstill.
Okay. Well, the eternal will find out at the end of 2027. The masses will speak and will know how well that
traveling
affected or
added
had
value
impact
to the country.
Okay.
Yes, certainly.
Well, we're not prophets of doom. We're just been
that's realism.
But let's move away from that and tell you that Enugu government accuses Sujimoto of a premeditated fraud, and also have the writer that says suspects absconded after collecting 5.7 billion naira as mobilization. the way people collect money without conscience.
It's crazy.
it's really alarming,
it's
and it's really alarming. But let's move away from that story. You can find out more of that story on that paper on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Well, we have another story here where we have the picture of Peter Obi and El-Rufai there.
And the headline says, protesters boo Obi for bringing El-Rufai to Owerri. And the writer says, ex-LP presidential candidate falls ill, suspends engagement.
Okay, well, they are humans as well, even if they are also contesting for positions.
Of course.
The body system, you cannot
you can't
change.
Cheat nature,
you
like
can't
they
cheat
say.
nature. Once, if he's suspended, he needs to take care of himself. So
And
I don't see what's
do
wrong
not
with
fault
that.
him. It is imperative that he takes care of himself, because if he's not healthy, how would
He can't
lead
handle
the
the
nation?
affairs of the nation.
It's not possible.
Exactly. So, well, Peter Obi, wisdom is profitable to direct, so it's better you fix yourself. But let's move on to other stories. It says PDP southern leaders agree on sharing of positions ahead of convention. Okay, PDP is trying to fix his house finally.
Yes, because 2027 is already in motion. Everybody is trying to make sure that they are able to prove their mettle when it comes to the election in 2027.
So like we said, we don't want the bumpy ride. We want a smooth ride. Everybody has to fix their house. If PDP is coming to say, we're doing this, we're going to share positions, we're trying to work out things, what matters is to lead the nation to where it's supposed to be.
And those positions should not be for selfish aggrandizement. It should be for the betterment of Nigeria and Nigerian people.
We'll find out.
Certainly,
at the convention.
We shall.
Let's move away from the Nation newspaper and tell you other stories making the rounds with the Sunday Tribune paper. The Sunday Tribune paper has its own headline, still talking on the issue of the Nupeng and other stories around us and the petrol distribution. We have the major story leading the headline there. It says Dangote petrol distribution showdown looms over Nupeng strike order. And we have the writer that says NLC backs petroleum workers plan to down to Monday. We also have Ipman asks members to shut down operations. We also have tanker drivers urge members to ignore strike notice. There's a whole lot of
back and forth.
Yes, because we still have the Nupeng saying giving instruction. We also have Dangote giving the petrol distribution saying they're giving this, don't that. So all of that.
Back and forth.
Yes,
it's a whole lot there.
So if they're going to go to on the strike or on the strike, and they are saying ignore it, tanker driver have been told to ignore there's no need to go on that. Doesn't matter the notice you're being given. Don't go on that strike.
But who would they listen to? That's the question.
That's it. And all of this will still come back to affecting the masses.
At the end of the day,
look at the days coming. They're looking at all of this on a Monday morning when people will be just going to work.
Like like you said earlier, who is affected is the common man.
Exactly.
Because these people are all heavyweights, but the common man who goes out and takes the public transport is the person who's affected.
And he's just going to get his daily bread, and also to ensure that's where his workstation is. He's doing his job.
So they should just try to consider it and put the masses at heart.
Okay, let's take the story above the mastheader that says Oyebanji must return to complete his good work in Ekiti, says APC. Well, that story is on page 5 on the Tribune newspaper there, where they want him to come back and finish up what he has started.
The people will decide if they want him to come back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take other stories. Still talking about the Boko Haram attacks there. Said Boko Haram attacks Borno village, kill 61. Air Force ground troops neutralize 45 terrorists in Borno and Katsina states. And that story is on page 4 of the Sunday Tribune there.
And moving away from that story, we have just next to it, it says Unilag Don lands in trouble for allegedly raping 20-year-old student.
I thought we've gone past all of the stories.
Honestly, of assaulting students as a lecturer. It's not a good one.
It's not a good story to talk about at all. Well, thank God he has actually landed in trouble. He has to be in trouble, obviously, because this is not something you should look at. That's a child.
And beyond being in trouble.
Yes, even though from 18 you're an adult, but she still has a life.
Aside, even if she's an adult, this is a person whom you share a professional relationship with. This is a person whom you're supposed to be a mentor to, not taking advantage of her. Because it's unlikely that maybe she agreed. It might not be consensual. It might be saying, if you do not succumb, I would not give you certain grades, or you'd fail my course.
Grades for marks right now.
Grades for marks, exactly.
I mean, what's the word sex for marks? Well, let's move away from that story and see other stories. APC, Labour Party in war of words over Tinubu's vacation. This vacation thing is actually getting back and forth to the Labour Party and the APC.
Well, like we said earlier, if the president is also an officer and he is entitled to vacations.
But apart from the vacation, he's like he said, he's going on a work
leave.
So let him go fix what's happening. What other stories making around there?
Yeah, below that headline, you'd see it says the kicker here is flood. 231 Nigerians die, 114 missing, 113,387 displaced in 8 months, and this is according to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
Okay, well, we know that the rains was really heavy this time around, and we had a lot of flood issues from all corner, and there's nothing we can do. Yearly, there's always this information advocacy for Nigerians to ensure that their drainages are cleared, pathways for water. Water does not, cannot stop water, so
we have to give it
its way to go through. Well, NEMA has put out its report. It's for us to go back and ensure that the necessary things are put in for more safety of life and not get.
They say it's a natural disaster, but sometimes human factors also account. Like you said, cleaning drainages. Some people literally build their houses on floodplains, and you expect not to get flooded. It's not a possibility.
Okay, well, let's quickly take the Trust Weekend, and we'll be wrapping up with our newspaper review segments quickly. The Trust Weekend has its own story, leading boldly as well, and it comes in infographics, like we always see them display their stories. We have the voter registration, where it stands. It gives you the breakdown of how well Nigerians have come out to get registered, with all the display of the infographics. So you have to see from which time, from the 25th to 29th of August with the CVR process. And although we had other people saying that it's been manipulated,
so they say.
But here we have the infographics here showing you all of that. We can get a copy of the paper and look at it. Let's take other stories quickly.
Yes, below that headline you'd see, or let's say above, it says in Katsina, bandits kill 6, kidnap 130 in 3 days.
Okay, let's take all this. Still sticking with security issue, we have insecurity. IDPs take over schools in Benue, Niger, and Katsina states. Well, other stories also there boldly, but you need to pick a copy of that paper and
get details
of the story. Let's quickly run through the last paper also before we go. We have the Punch. The Punch also talking about the issue of the fuel marketers begging to avert Monday strike. Like we said, it's not a good thing to start the week and having strike and having people struggling to get to their workplaces.
No, it's not a good one.
Okay, we also have other stories with UK removal threats. Nigerian students scramble for work visa. Well, that's for those who have gone to study abroad. They're still having the challenges settling in fully, getting the work visa to able to settle in and get their lives going. Well, that's the much we can take with the Punch newspaper and also with the dailies. It's been an amazing time here analyzing the stories, making the headways on our newspapers. Well, we have other things lined up for you as our segments on Global Morning. So don't go anywhere, because our discussion segment is up next, and it's something interesting that you need to sit back and be alert to listen to us. Don't go anywhere. It's still Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news, making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back. If you're still joining or you're just tuning in, it's still Global Morning. And like I said, today has lots of activities, and we've just finished this first segment. We're moving into the discussion segments where I have a guest and a conversation that I think you just want to stick around to your screen and get on board with us. It's something different about engagement, unity, religion, freedom of expression, freedom of worship, and the need for Nigeria to be one as a country. It doesn't matter what diversity of religion you want to practice, but the freedom of it is what is important. I have with me an amazing personality who will be giving us the dissect of all of this impressing of the Nigerian contractor, Faith and Freedom Africa, Africa Freedom of Religion, or the Belief, who has been talking about how Nigeria can build its unity through religion, impressing of Samari Felix. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, it's a whole different conversation when people look at Nigerians and say we're a religious nation. But we have a lot of conversation around faith, belief, and the practice for all of this. And you came into with a whole different perspective to see that there's need for freedom of religion or belief, that people have rights. But let me just quickly read through the research I made on my own, and then I'll just come back to you fully. Freedom of religion or belief is not just a human right enshrined in Nigeria's constitution. It is also a foundation for peaceful coexistence and national unity. Its intent goes beyond guaranteeing individual liberty. It seeks to foster mutual respect, tolerance, and understanding among Nigerians' diverse religious and cultural groups. Well, the scope is what you're going to be talking to us about, the areas which FOB intends to play to bring in Nigeria to understand the need to engage. It doesn't matter the religion. Let's start with you. What motivated you and your organization to put this out in the Nigerian context?
Thank you very much once again for having me on your program today. And I want to start by saying freedom of religion is one major thing that every country, every community needs to know. This starts with the Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which says that everyone has the right to practice his religion, either alone or in group. Okay. And of course, it is the same Article 18 in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights that talks about the right to practice religion and to have conscience and then believe. And then in Nigerian Constitution, Section 38 of the Nigerian Constitution lifted this. Okay. This also is in the Constitution of Nigeria. So I think it is a very important area that everyone should be interested in. And for me, looking at the demography of Nigeria, Nigeria is one unique country that has over 1 million Muslims living in this country, and over 100 million Muslims are over 100 million Christians living in this country. This kind of demography can only be found in Nigeria. Okay. And so this is a very important topic. And then there are other people who also practice other religions. Exactly. I think it's important I point out very clearly that FOB does not protect any religion. Okay. FOB protects human beings because it is a human right. And so being a human right, it does not protect religion, but guarantees the right to choose a religion, practice a religion, or even change a religion. Okay. So that is what FOB is all about. Okay, if FOB, like you mentioned, it's not just, Nigeria is not a religious nation, but like you mentioned, it goes just beyond the two ones we know in Nigeria. You have other ones because while we had a conversation, I know we mentioned a few other ones. Can you make that really clear for people to embrace? Because you are protecting humanity and their rights. Yes. So what are the other religions that people are not even aware of and they don't even see it? Yeah, I would like to also mention my recent experience in Benue State, where we held a town hall meeting, and we had people from traditional religion, for instance, and they came out. Their traditional religion, they worship their traditional religions, and the traditional religion, interestingly, is not just one, because they are there. Those who said they profess traditional religion, there are people who came from different traditional religions. And then also in Nigeria, we have humanists. People who profess, they believe in humanity. Humanity is their position. And so FOB also protect them. And then we also have Judaism, for instance. I met someone that he said he's a Nigerian, but he is into Judaism. So, and then we could go on and find several other religions that people profess in Nigeria. And so FOB protects human being and guarantees him the right to worship, the right to practice, the right to profess, and the right to teaching the religion of your own choice. And the manifestation of your religion could be in your religious attire, for instance. And that is why we in FOB, we were also looking at the issues where some other persons will have difficulty understanding why someone will wear his or her own religious attire and come to a public place. And so these are issues of FOB actually that we always talk about.
I see FOB also looks at the way of dialoguing and finding tolerance and inclusivity, which are non-negotiable values which you embed in your teachings, in your guide to safeguarding the human rights to worship.
Yes.
And you mentioned a town hall meeting. How was this inculcated into your teachings during that town hall meeting?
The most important thing we have also found out in research is that in an open society, people thrive, the economy progresses. Where people's religious view or belief is respected, where people are allowed to openly express themselves in their own way of belief. When it is respected, they are able to thrive in their workplace. For instance, when you come to a workplace, we want to hire a person, you don't have to ask what religion, or even when you know the religion the person believes, that should not be the basis for discrimination. And so it helps that we respect people's religion, we respect their position as to what they believe. We will be able to get the best from them. I think this is also very important in peace building and also tolerance.
Well, but let's look at it from the grassroots point. A lot of people grew up with a particular religion because they're born into it. And it has also guided them through their pathway in life and how they want to live their life. So when they get to the point of the school level, they're being taught different things. I know some schools have the CRS, IRS, then where we were in school at that time. So now with FOB coming to play, how have you been able to inculcate all of this for people to understand their rights and still have the unity bond and inclusion and respect to their particular religion?
First of all, I think it's clear in the Constitution of Nigeria that no one should be taught a religion other than the religion of his belief. For instance, in school, a Muslim child will not be taught CRK.
No, they will not.
And then a Christian child will not be taught IRK. And so if there is someone who is of the traditional religion, for instance, and that is where the issue is, the minorities.
Exactly.
If the Christians are going for IRK, the Muslims are going, the IRK, and then the Christians are going for CRK, the child of a traditional believer cannot, under FOB, be compelled to attend either of these two. Because this is what the Constitution said. You cannot teach him what he does not believe, because this is the religion of his own belief. That is what he has been brought up in. And so by the time he becomes an adult, he has the right to choose by himself, either to be a traditional worshipper, to be a Christian, or a Muslim. And so that is FOB.
Okay, so FOB has its own way. I like the idea and the concepts which you have got. We're looking at the minorities and how they have been also respected to what they believe in and how they can be established, and not just including them through a forceful way to look at a religion. Well, let's see. Why the context of Nigeria? Because like you mentioned, we have a diversity, both from the ethnic groups rather. We have a diversity, we have a lot of this. So when we bring this, it has to go through the understanding for people to get it. Why the context of Nigeria that you feel it is? I know you mentioned the Constitution.
Yes.
Why in this context? Because we have a lot of millions of people. What does it really mean in the Nigerian context right now for FOB? Has it gone well since you started the inculcation or the training of people to understand this?
Well, I think it's a work in progress. And for me, we are just taking baby steps for now. Because wherever we go to have a program about FOB, we discover that many people don't even know about it as a right.
Exactly.
Many people do not know that there is a section in the Constitution, because a lot of us are not lawyers, so we don't bother to open the Constitution of our country, that there's a section in our Constitution that is supported also by international covenants and declarations.
Okay.
And so they also do not know that there is observations that is being placed on nations like Nigeria on the issue of freedom of religion. Because Nigeria has always been on the searchlight of issues of the violation of FOB. Recently, we had the USEF, U.S. Commission for International Religious Freedom, calling for the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And many people don't know about what it means to be a country of particular concern. And so if Nigeria is designated as a CPP, for instance, what it is to Nigerians. So what is the status of religious freedom in this country? When we see these things, we get involved in FOB awareness so that more people will know about FOB. And then we should be able to identify the actual violations of FOB. And also be able to have a collective voice where leaders, experts will come together and say this is a violation of FOB and this is not a violation of FOB.
Okay. All right, so well, FOB is doing its own part to see that there's existence and there's knowledge about it and the way forward to building. But let's look at it. Why should it be considered to Nigerians' unity and peaceful coexistence? Because this is one sensitive conversation Nigerians don't want to talk about when it comes to religion, because we're very religious people. But why is it considered to be critical to Nigerians' unity and peaceful coexistence?
It's very, very critical because the idea of religion is central, and this is the new identity that we have acquired.
Okay.
And I call it a new identity because we are becoming more and more forgetting about our ethnic and tribal identities and assuming the religious identity.
Okay.
Because of the high demography, the high number of Christians, the high number of Muslims, we begin to align ourselves with our own religious beliefs. Whether we know the people, whether we are from the south or the north, the Christians who want to group themselves with the Christians, the Muslims who want to group themselves with the Muslims.
Okay.
And then sometimes there is compromise when it comes to the issue of getting the best. And if we understand the role of FOB in the society, we will not treat people on the basis of religion. We will treat them, first of all, as citizens of this country who have the right to choose what they want to believe in. For me, I always say that FOB has made me to be a better Christian, for instance, because I am not a Christian now just because I am born into a Christian family, but this is what I have chosen.
Okay.
And I also know that I am protected by the Constitution of Nigeria to choose that. And if one day I don't want to be, I also have the right to say I don't want. And so when you are in a religion or in a belief and there is no opening for you to see that this is a choice I have made for my life and my eternity, and then you are just following, it's difficult to get the best. But when you know that it is open for you to make that choice as your own right, and then to question certain things and stand firmer in your own religion, I think we will have better Christians, better Muslims, better humanists that will contribute to the growth of Nigeria. The bottom line is freedom first, and then to be able to be a citizen that will be productive, that will be efficient in the country.
Well, if you talk about freedom and the focus and one's willingness to be able to change at some point when he feels he's not getting value or getting essence of what he's actually believing in and all that. But let's look at, like I mentioned, the grassroots. In what ways can FOB principles be integrated into Nigeria's school curriculum if you're pushing for, this is an advocacy you're making out for people to have their rights, to be able to practice. How would this be integrated? What are your major roles put in for this? Because you're speaking about unity, you're speaking about tolerance, you're speaking about oneness as a nation and freedom to practice what one believes in order to bring about development in the nation.
Yes, going down the grassroots, I think it requires a lot of work. And that is why our approach to FOB is the up-bottom approach, not bottom-up approach.
Okay.
Because there are gatekeepers everywhere. We have the government, for instance, the duty bearer, and then we also have the right bearers, and then we have the moral duty bearers also, the religious institutions. And so the duty bearers, being the government, will have to ensure that the rights of the people are not trampled upon.
Okay.
And then the moral duty bearers, for instance, should also understand what freedom of religion or belief is.
Okay.
And that is why we target religious leaders, for instance, to sit with them and let them understand FOB, so that where they go on propagating their own religion, they should also understand that people have the right to listen, agree or not agree.
Okay.
Right? And then also, on the other hand, they should also respect the boundaries of propagation as to not forcing anybody to do what he doesn't want. And if today, as a religious leader, as a pastor, and your member comes and said to you, today I want to be a Muslim, you should be gracious enough to say, okay, I pray for you. This is your choice. I respect your choice. You can go ahead and be whatever you want to be. But I wish you are this. And so also the Muslims, and even the traditional religion, which actually most of our own people converted from the traditional religion of one sort or the other to Christianity or Islam. I was saying people of my age that are born in where I come from, they don't have a grandfather or a father who was born a Christian or a Muslim. All our parents converted to these religions.
Okay.
And so I think our traditional people understand the concept of FOB, and probably they do not have options than we understand what FOB is about. The respect that we accord to human being as to the right to choosing is very, very important when it comes to being productive in the society. Because when you know that your life is not your life is not threatened because of the decisions you have made, you will be freer to do the best you can to contribute.
Okay, well, that's a new one, because when people feel they are safe, it's easier to come out to say, I want to be this, I want to be that, because I'm safe. I can add value. I can bring in my own quota to also bring about development. But let's look at the issue about cooperation, just like you mentioned. How can neighborhoods move from suspicion and division to trust, the cooperation of living, the oneness? Because the focus for me here is the unity and the oneness as people. Like you said, if one is not threatened by what he has chosen or the path he has chosen to walk through, where is that? How can the neighborhood, the community, move from suspicion and saying this person is not actually safe for me to work with?
Yeah.
Or, you know, because that's why I said, why did FOB even choose the Nigeria context?
Okay, there are two things here. If you ask me why FOB is important in Nigerian context, I have mentioned that because of our population.
Yeah, I know.
And then because of the nature of our own country.
Exactly.
And so many things often is associated to religion, which sometimes is not. If you look at the way politics is played in this country sometimes, politicians, to be frank, they also take advantage of the religion and begin to make people feel as if you are not being given your own chance. That is why we have a lot of calls for marginalization and so on.
Okay.
But if we understand FOB, it will help us a lot not to look at people from the lenses of what they believe.
Okay.
We look at them from the things they can contribute to society.
All right.
You understand? And that is what FOB is emphasizing. When you understand that this person has the potentials or has the ability to deliver, why not give him the chance to deliver? Because we know that this is what he believes, yes. And so I don't believe in what he believes, but he has the capability or the capacity to deliver in this responsibility or role that we want to give him. This is important. And then the other issue is the issue of religious leaders spreading hate speech.
Okay.
Because this is also a violation of religious freedom.
Okay.
You cannot use religion to malign others. You don't use religious gathering. You gather people because you want to preach to them, and then you start telling them evil things about other people's belief.
Okay.
Because you have your own belief. They have their own beliefs. And it's interesting when you hear religious leaders talking from the Christian perspective, how FOB is being supported by the Bible, from the Islamic perspective, how it is being supported by the Holy Quran, and how it is important in living together in peace.
Okay. Well, you've just spoke about the challenges, the focus, and the misconceptions around. But let's see, what are the practical steps that you have put in, or how you think the government and civil society can take to ensure that FOB is respected, protected through the broader impact which you intend to put in the Nigerian space? How can the government and civil society come together to work around with you, with FOB?
Yeah, that is the baby steps I mentioned earlier we are taking. We're looking at the possibility of talking to religious leaders. Sooner, we are going to hold a gathering of Christian leaders, and then after that, we will have a gathering of Muslim leaders, and then it will culminate into a bigger gathering of Christian and Muslim leaders sometime early next year,
Okay.
where these leaders will come together and ask the duty bearer,
Okay.
the government, to ensure that FOB is not just carried around by small organizations like ours,
Okay.
but that the government is able to have a voice in FOB, so that whenever there is issue of religious freedom or violation of FOB, there is a government agency or organization that is able to say, yes, this is objectively, yes, a violation of FOB, or this is not a violation of FOB. For instance, if a village is attacked in, let's say, in southern Kaduna, and the majority of those who die are Christians, should we now say that this is a violation of FOB?
Okay.
Or if a mosque is attacked in Bauchi,
Okay.
and people die in that mosque, should we now say it's a violation of FOB?
Okay.
We have to find the lines in the real violation of FOB, where FOB is being violated in those kind of incidences.
Okay.
We have to really carefully use the government machinery, the government resources to examine critically what is the violations of FOB in it. And then look at also what is other issues, political, economic issues that are involved in this kind of situations. And it is government that has the resources to do all these things. So we of course will call on the government to get involved in this, so that it will help the international image of Nigeria.
True.
It will also help the trusts of the people of this country in the government's willingness to protect the lives and properties of Nigeria, so that also individuals who have other motives will not hijack the situation and promote what is not happening.
Okay, well, I see from all that you've given us as a breakdown, I see FOB is playing a good role in reducing religious-based violence and extremism in Nigeria, and also seeing a way where peace is preached more, and the value of unity and tolerance. And like you mentioned, freedom is your focal point.
Yes.
It is freedom because your focus is humanity and the need to practice oneness as a nation. Well, thank you so much. It's been an exciting conversation with you on Global Morning. We hope to have subsequent and see how far FOB will also build more unity and give the nation the look it needs to have across the globe in terms of our oneness as a nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We look forward to more conversations. Well, we've been talking to Felix Samari, who's the Nigerian contractor for the Freedom Faith of Africa, to talk about the issue of FOB, where there's freedom of religion and belief in Nigeria, to see how Nigeria can stand tall and we can eliminate the whole focus around religious-based violence and extremism in Nigeria, flowing our nature or our geographical focus, and how we're seen as a religious nation, to see how we can become one as Nigeria and live amicably as loved ones to each other, and allow growth to stand tall for us as a nation. It's still Global Morning, and we'll bring you Today in History, while we'll take you around to other segments on the program. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. It's still Global Morning. Welcome back. It's still Global Morning, and it's time to move to another conversation here on Global Morning, where we'll talk more about grassroots development, talent discovery, and of course, we'll talk about the Super Eagles game that played out yesterday. How excited were you? Yes, we got the 3 points, but for me, that game, for me, it didn't go anywhere for me. But I have my guests who talk to me about this, and we'll analyze all of that game that played out yesterday, and then we'll talk about what's the way forward to football development from the grassroots points and how well Nigeria has fared. We'll look at the Nigerian National League, and we'll also look at NLO and see what's happening. Well, let's say the Nigerian National League, often regarded as the engine room of domestic football, continues to play a crucial role in nurturing young talent and building the future of the nation's game. The Nigerian National League may not command the glitz and glamour of the elite Nigerian Premier League, but its importance cannot be overstated. As the second tier of the country's football pyramid, the NNL serves as a breeding ground for raw talents, offering young players the platform to showcase their skills and earn opportunities at the top level. Over the years, many of Nigeria's most celebrated football stars began their journey in the league before making their mark both at home and on the international stage. Stakeholders say the NNL is not just about competition, it's also about discovery, growth and transition. By providing exposure, structure and grassroots connection, the league bridges the gap between amateur football and the professional ranks. Beyond producing players, the league also offers referees, coaches and administrators the chance at home to hone their crafts, therefore strengthening the entire football ecosystem. Observers believe that with greater investment, improved facilities and stronger media visibility, the NNL could become an even more powerful launch pad for Nigerian football talent, rivaling development systems in other parts of the world. Well, joining me to talk about the whole essence of the grassroots and where this has brought us in Nigerian football is the editor-in-chief and executive director of Exclusive News in person of I called him my father. Is Mr. Patrick Ngorgos. Good to have you on the program.
Today.
I'm good. When you have your father, you know you're safe.
Yes, very safe.
You know you're safe to have you have this conversation. Of course, I call him my dad. He's very my dad's name, and so he's here with me to talk about this. But let's talk about Nigeria in terms of development and discovery of talent. You've been there in NLO. You understand what grassroots development is for football. Let's start with what played out yesterday, then we'll talk about the grassroots depth. How was our match yesterday?
It's okay. The most important thing at this point is to pick the 3 points.
Okay.
Because had it been that against Zimbabwe, we were able to tidy up and hang on to the 3 points, we'll have been talking of 13 points by now.
Okay.
So the points first, then later we'll start talking about the goals.
Okay, if he says the points, no, well, for me, I didn't enjoy the game yesterday.
Well, because you are watching it under pressure. These days, when you watch football, you relax yourself and watch it with the nitty-gritty of what it's panning out at that point.
Okay, so you're saying the 3 points, yes, counts. We're happy about it, able to get it. But you know we have a game against South Africa. South Africa played 3-0. With Lesotho, and they did very well in their field of play.
Yeah.
Do you see us standing a chance?
You see, in the game of football, there is something that people call see finish.
Okay.
When we are playing South Africa, they are always jittery.
Okay.
And they are always under pressure, especially at their home.
Okay.
South Africa has never defeated Nigeria in their country. That's the history.
Okay.
Out of 13 encounters, they've only managed to win 1. I think that one is even in a friendly match.
Okay.
They've not defeated Nigeria in any competitive match. And the same thing is going to play out on Tuesday.
Okay, I say a big amen to that.
Yeah, they get a high yes. The best they will get
in
their home country is a draw, which may be difficult for them to come about. And if our boys put their hearts together early enough, we may even be leading before halftime. I want to tell you that. So with what played out yesterday, the 3 points was very important.
Okay.
and the boys wanted to keep it, and they kept it all through. So we'll go to South Africa and give out our best.
All right, I'm going to mark your words, and I'm going to come back to have the conversation with you on that particular game. But let's stick on to the Nigerian National League and the role it's playing so far in nurturing talents, because you've been following the trend from grassroots.
Yeah. You see, the grassroots still remain the fulcrum of football development in any country.
Okay.
The Nigerian National League that you are talking about remains the most important league in Nigeria.
Sure.
Why do we call it the most important league? It gives to the Premiership, which is the highest, and it takes from the Amateur League or the NLO, which is the lowest.
Okay.
So every year you see National League giving to Premiership and also collecting from below. So they are the most important league in Nigeria. And the talents are there. If you are among those who watch the NNL Super 8 that was played in Asaba recently, you will see the quality of players that was displayed. And funny enough, I was looking at the media last week. Some of the players have even gotten contracts in Europe. But the question you will always ask is, why do we allow the European countries or other leagues outside to pick our best from the grassroots?
Leaving us to struggle?
Struggle. And we will now be the ones running to them, begging them to release those players for us.
Okay.
It is because certain things are not done well. The scouting programs for the national teams and other clubs are not there. You see, in Nigerian League, especially at the Premier level, we don't have the patience of giving a club manager all it takes to go and prepare himself and win. What we normally find out, or what we normally do, is we'll give you a job in the morning and we want you to win the league in the evening.
Okay.
And that has not been panning well. So club coaches and managers, they don't have that patience of nurturing these grassroots players that they will pick from at every point in time to develop them further. That is the problem. We have a lot of them.
Okay, so while we're in the line of thought to throw more light, let's quickly take this break. When we'll come back, we'll take more conversation around all of the challenges that needs to be fixed about the grassroots. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We're here and is still talking about grassroots development and how far we can build that capacity of young people and not allow foreigners take the best of our players here. We still have my guest with me, and he was talking to us about the focus and how this can be built more. But you've described grassroots being the major focus, major area, and how the NLO and the NNL have actually built capacity. Yeah. But let's look at it. How well have Nigerians football administrators picked out the best of our people from that national league point?
Well, most of the players you see at the Premiership, they all graduated from one team or the other from the grassroots.
Exactly.
There are some that you will see today. They played maybe for the academies, and an administrator that has the mind will pick them, and before you know, they blossom. But the problem is that they hardly stay in the country because of poor remuneration and some other logistics that makes it difficult. But if the league is flamboyant and the corporate bodies come into the league, then our league will be something else, and players from the grassroots can easily stay. If you look at it critically, most of the players you see shining today in the Super Eagles, out of the minus the goalkeepers, there is none. Is there any other person that played in the Nigerian league? Many of them went away from academy.
So that's the problem. So how do we fix it?
How do we fix it is, one is the country.
Okay.
The country, I mean that the economy is not buoyant.
Okay.
And the economy controls everything. In the past, we know of players from the grassroots teams that have played the Super Eagles.
Okay.
But these days, even as a club manager, I will be very impatient to leave my player in Nigeria. I will want the boy to move
go
out,
better.
where you get $1,000, and when you bring it home,
Your family can eat.
And eat comfortably.
Okay.
There are players in the Nigerian league that takes as much as 800,000, but they cannot feed their families properly.
Okay.
So when people say that the country, that the players are not being well paid, I always laugh, because I've been there. I know what it is. It is the economy that is controlling the whole thing. A player from the Premier League will prefer to go out and collect $1,000 or $1,500. Before you know it, you see him riding big cars and taking care of his family.
Okay.
So those are the things.
Okay. Well, you talked about the NLO, which is the lowest, and also the NNL.
Yeah.
How is it built on top of? So I want our viewers to understand how we grow through the ranks of the grassroots, from the NLO to the NNL to the Premier League, and that's Nigerian Premier League, where, and also to get the national teams. How has this actually grown over the years? Have we done well at all? Because looking at what we are doing at the Super Eagles point. So how have we taken advantage of the grassroots through the NNL, which is seen as the engine room to discover this talent?
You see, the NLO on itself, if I'm not mistaken, they have over 1,000 clubs playing this, that played the league this year.
Okay.
They promote 7 or 8 teams to NNL.
Okay.
From NNL, on yearly basis, NNL promotes 4 teams to the Premiership.
Okay.
There are teams that go through that rudiment, like the 2 teams, Barua FC and Kun Khalifa, that are in Premiership now.
Okay.
Within the last 3 years, they went from NLO to the professional cadre. And many of them are still using same players.
Okay.
And the 3 weeks of the league, you see the result that those teams chunked out. That is an example of what the grassroots players can give to you.
Okay.
But the problem is holding them down.
So after discovering them,
you can no longer hold them because
you can
the
pay their bills in the economy
is very poor.
Okay.
No matter, and the leagues at that level is not what is attainable in other parts. For instance, you can see a team traveling from, say, Port Harcourt to Maiduguri on road.
And so that wears them out before they get
there. Before they get there. People, I think this week, Abia Warrior is playing in Bauchi. They will leave Umuahia and travel all the way. Maybe they travel on Thursday to get to Bauchi on Saturday and play a match on Sunday. Give and take. Men, you don't even expect anything too spectacular from them.
Okay.
But the NNL league, you play within the geopolitical zones.
Okay.
It is easier for them to manage.
Okay.
Teams go around. There is no team from the south that comes to the north. And the boys are playing to sell themselves. They express themselves very well. The distance they travel, they're always very minimal. Yes. And in NLO, they play what they call the Stadium League. In the Stadium League, what you do is everybody is zoned into a particular place, and you play all your matches there, and the qualifiers. Then if you are fortunate, you get the promotion and move ahead.
Oh, that's a great insight, because I wanted us to understand how this is built from the grassroots, because the focus is the grassroots, how the talents are being discovered, how they are being built. But like you mentioned, I've seen certain times where the travels also hinders, because you've seen road crashes sometimes where the buses...
Yesterday, a referee going for a match, sorry, a match commissioner, he had an accident. That is the hazard that you get.
Because those are the hazards that come with it. So if that means it is time for the proper organization to be given to the NLO and NLO, because if that is the engine room to discover our talents, why not give it the best it needs to have? Because if you don't get them discovered at the grassroots, how do you get them to get
the NLO goes a little bit further down.
You see?
I think from next week, this week that we are entering, there will be an NLO playoff.
Okay.
That playoff is teams, 2 teams from each state, including FCT. 74 teams now.
All right.
They've been zoned to a nearby center.
Okay.
From there are teams from that. These are teams that played in the final of their state leagues. At their state level, at their core local level. So when they will win or the runners up, you now go for Division 2 playoff, which is what is starting from next week. So they have 74 teams.
74 teams.
Yes.
Wow.
That will play that NLO playoff.
Okay.
And from there, you can now qualify to play the Division 2 of NLO. And that Division 2 of NLO is under 19.
Oh.
Yes, it's purely for under 19.
Okay.
Before you qualify there to now move up to the Division 1 of the NLO League.
Okay.
It gets to that level.
Okay, because I was asking, I was like, what makes the NNL different from the Nigerian Premier Football League in terms of talent development? Because, of course, when you discover them, you need to develop the talent.
Yes.
Because now you've given us a breakdown of how the NNL operates in Division 1, Division 2, and how it is done. But for
at the same level.
Same level. So, but we have 74 teams. That tells you we have a bunch of talent on the pitch of play who are struggling to be recognized, to be seen. It's one thing to discover them, but how do you build their talents, develop them to get to the higher league? Just like the NNL, that's my focus. Just to move from that point.
You see, if we look at those in the NLO, they didn't come to NLO straight.
Okay.
Like some of us who are from the grassroots. If we go to my end in Gwagwalada now, we are starting a Gwagwalada League.
Great.
Comprising of 26 teams within the Gwagwalada Axis.
Okay.
Local government, area council Axis. 26 teams.
Okay.
And they will play till maybe December.
Oh, that's
the winners will now be encouraged to go to the state league of FCT. From there to NLO. You see the graduation. So when players graduate there, it is from there in most cases that those who are fortunate to be scouted by the national scouts will have opportunity of playing in the underage tournaments.
Okay.
Where we have the under 17, under 20.
Okay.
Before they start exploding. So it's a grassroots thing. It's just the encouragement. And when the corporate bodies, if they step in to support what is happening at the grassroots, we will get the best. We have the best quality of players at Nigeria at the level. Most of these countries that are excelling, what they have is the
private partnership.
If you go to South Africa, you will see they don't even have the qualities we have.
But they have good support from
the private sectors. Now, if you look at the South African team that played us in the last time, virtually every player there came from the home league.
Okay.
But here in Nigeria, we'll find virtually all our players outside.
Because I was about asking you the same question, because we talked about this. We started with the Super Eagles games and how well. Like I said, I wasn't comfortable with the game because I'm looking at the talent discovery. If we know we've grown people, just like you've mentioned the stages in which they had to go through to get to that stage, why don't we always pick people from the local league? Because I know when the head coach for Super Eagles came in, a lot of questions, eyebrows were raised if he was going to bring in call players from the home league, or he was still going to stick to the foreign-based players.
You know, when you are handling a team,
yes,
there is no coach that will want to lose.
Of course, you don't want to lose, but
you always go for the best where they are. And because the foreign-based players, they have better facilities to play and good organization. You understand?
Okay.
That is why they are excelling.
Okay.
And it's not that those at home cannot excel.
But they have to be exposed before they can get to it.
The exposure is not there. And I told you one thing, Nigerians are impatient.
Okay.
By the time the coach decides
to try the home front,
and you get a negative result,
the whole bashing will be something else.
It will be something else. So why not? And there is no time, especially at the national team level, for any coach to sit down and start nurturing players. South Africa is playing good football because they have time. Any coach handling the team have the time. 99% of the players plays in the home league.
Okay.
So Egyptians, the same thing. Tunisians, the same thing. It's only maybe Morocco and other West African countries that are struggling with that.
Okay.
So you can see that Morocco can shine when it goes to. They played up to the semi-final.
Yes, they did.
Of the World Cup, last World Cup, but they couldn't scale the first round in the Nations Cup because the time is not there for the coach to prepare them adequately at that level.
Okay. If you say we're doing well, and this is the Nigerians are actually the challenge because there's no patience to want to allow people build capacity and get us. But we know we have some success stories.
Yeah.
If that has rose up from the NNL to stardom locally and internationally.
Yeah.
So why can't we have that repeat and let Nigerians be patient? Because looking at what we played yesterday, we have the best facilities. We have the good players who are playing internationally in the league.
We have the best facilities
in Nigeria, but the national teams are also putting their best.
If you are talking of facilities, we don't have. We are only fortunate that Akwa Ibom is existing. Because have you ever asked yourself the teams that are representing Nigeria in the continent, about the 3 of them or 4, virtually all of them will play away.
Okay.
Yeah, virtually. Abia Warrior will play in Uyo. They are based in Omaya.
Yes.
Rivers will play in Uyo
because it's a bit close.
They are based in Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt.
If time is not taken, Remo is going to play in Uyo and Kwara. So where are the facilities? There is none. So we should develop facilities first.
Okay.
Then we start talking of other things. If we don't have the facilities, because I as a person, I can't sponsor a state team to win a league and encourage them to go and play continental outside. So what is the need for you to start struggling to win when the structures are not there?
So we've seen the challenges like you've mentioned to be lack of facilities, the private partnership coming to also playing. But also let's look at the media space. Is the media giving the opportunity to do proper coverage to tell the story of the challenges these players actually encounter on a daily, growing from the ranks of the NLO to NNL? Because if we don't have all of this put in place, we'll keep lagging behind in all of this.
The media has been doing their best. It's just media has been doing their best. The last time when some people were complaining that the government, Nigerians normally forget them after serving. I now asked one of them, I said, who takes care of the media?
With all the hurdles.
There are some of them, when they were serving the country, I know of those who are being paid 10,000 naira per win, $5,000, and they will put them in 5-star hotels.
Okay.
They will fly business class in and out.
Okay.
But the journalists who are coming to cover them, some of them will enter night bus to come to the venue, watch and make their reports, and return back to their base with night bus. They are also serving the country, and also they need recognition if they are looking at it. But who support? The journalists, media have been doing their best. They've been marvelous in supporting some of these things, despite the fact that the funds, money, they are not there.
Okay. Well, let's look at in terms of recognition for NNL. Do you think NNL is getting enough recognition it deserves compared to the Premier League in all of its?
The NNL is just building on the leadership, in quote.
Okay.
Yes, they have a career journalist as the chairman, and his colleagues are running around him to give the NNL visibility.
Okay.
And why they are doing that is to ensure that in the nearest future, the sponsors will believe in the league and come around to support them. That is just what is happening to NNL. If you come to funding, the funding they get regularly is the one that the NFF brings to them.
Okay.
So they need the support. NLO needs the support to enable them get the best out of these players.
So basically we're saying we need good funding, because if you look at, I'm looking at major steps, NNL can get stronger platforms for younger players who are seeking professional opportunities. Correct. So basically, well
if you get to NNL, you're a professional. Yes. If you get to NNL, all the NNL teams are professional club.
Okay. So that is an edge already.
Yes. If you look at the books, you will find out that every player in NNL is a professional player.
Okay.
But those who are grooming the grassroots are those in NLO and at the state level.
Okay.
Those are the ones people should beam their satellite. Then from there they take it to the NNL and it becomes something. We have the talents.
No, there's not been a doubt about Nigerians' talents in terms of football, because we have, even in schools, you find them in schools doing very well, and all they just want is the visibility and the opportunities to be able to be picked to do well for the nation.
When we were in the board of FCTFA, we put together the Principals Cup. That was, I think, 2015 or thereabout. The team, Fosla, that won the Principals Cup, all secondary school. That time, all of them were in SS2.
Okay.
SS1 to SS2. They played the national championship, Shell Cup, to the finals. All secondary school. They later came back and won the National Principals Cup. One of the players in that, the boy was then in SS2 to SS3, Onuche Ogbelu, played in the national team.
Okay.
From there, he went to Esperance of Tunisia. He played in Esperance Tanner team that played the FIFA World Cup. So what we are saying is that the talents are there. The grassroots need all the support.
Okay.
I told you now that in Gwagwalada, where I'm coming from, I am the chairman of the organizing committee. We have 26 teams.
Yes.
And these teams are not from everybody, scattered all over. They just finished under 15 during the holiday and 13.
Oh, awesome.
To keep the children busy all through the holiday period. Now the school is about commencing. The older ones are starting their own.
Which is good.
Same in Amak, in Buhari, I think Buhari is playing their final today also. So these boys are from the core grassroots. And these are the people who need the support because they will grow up to get to NLO, from NLO to NNL before we take them to Premiership.
Okay. Well, with all of this put in place, if it's starting from your end and we've seen developments come into or discovery of these young minds, because what we need is to get young minds out there, take their minds off social vices and give them a reason to get their life going. But let's look at, before I let you go, let's look at what do you see with the NNL and NLO in terms of grassroots development in the next 5 years or 10, if all of this partnership funding is being improved upon or given to the football league. Let's look at NFF. Do you see them building and putting out the best of this with NNL standing out all?
Yes, I think we have to give it to the president and of NFF and his leadership. The level they are, they don't believe that the game should start from up to down. No,
it has to be from the down. So.
They are doing it from the down to up. If you look at the president presently, he is always encouraging grassroots football, going to areas, participating, ensure that the grassroots teams or football develop at that level. Now, from there, talents are discovered and they move on to the NLO, NNL. So we have all it takes. In the next 5 years, if you give and take, if all the supports are given to them, I want to assure you that Nigeria can go far and get the best for the country.
Well,
not all depends on the economy.
Okay, well, this economy needs to be fixed. If we need to get the best of what we want in our football, we need to get the best funding, the best economic stability for the players to be excited, to bring in their talents to bear for Nigerians. Well, it's been an amazing conversation going here on grassroots development, looking at the grassroots from the NLO, the National League One, right? And also we have the NNL, which is also building capacity to the MPFL, and also looking at the national duty for like the Super Eagles will always play out. And we hope that the authorities hear us and hear us loud and bring about the improvements Nigerians need to see in the field of play when Super Eagles are playing next, that we've discovered talent from this one. And like he said, I'm holding him accountable that we're going to win South Africa.
South Africa will only get highest they will get
draw. Okay, I hold on to that, and I'm going to end on that note. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. We hope to see more improvements and more developments come into the grassroots up to the nation's playing out for us. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick Gogo, for coming. Always, we look forward to more conversation, and it's still Global Morning. We'll still have 2 more segments to bring to you. Don't go anywhere as we bring to you aerobics. We have some aerobics to show you some stretches where you need to stretch yourself and live healthy. And when we come back, Mukhtar will be here with me and we'll talk to you about all of those stretches and how it's going to go down. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
walk. You guys ready to walk? Oh, let's walk, everybody. Here we go. All right, now, always a quick 4 basic step review. That gets our body warm, and then we'll be ready to take off. You know you're a pro by now. I know you know the moves. Our traditional warm-up, here it is. Walk, 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 walk. So again, I need that second to give me that pace. Music is created and engineered for the beat to be the miles per hour. Walk, 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 walk. Just give me 4 more. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Side step, everybody. So you know, again, the speed is the most important thing. It's really not the moves. I want you to keep moving at the beat, at the speed that I keep the movements going. So anytime one of the movements maybe get a little challenging or a little confusing, remember that walking to the beat is the secret to this whole program. It's how you get fit, okay? Nice. Out together, out together, out together, out together. Here's 4, here's 3, here's 2. We're back to walking. Now we walk. Good. Kicks are coming up, guys. And 4, and 3, 2. Just an easy kick, just easy. Getting those legs ready. Getting muscles warm. Body temperature's going up. You'll feel really good in the full range of motion. All the joints feel good. When you just give it a little movement, it gets a little lubrication in there. I call it juice in the joints. And it feels good when you're moving. Oh, yeah. Good. 4, and 3, and 2. Back to walks, guys. We walk. Always go back to a walk anytime. If it gets a little fast for you, just go back to an easy walk. 4 more, and then knee lifts are coming. Ready? Knees up right here, guys. Knees up and knees up, knees up, knees up. Remember, long and tall. We want to think of from the hip up to the shoulder. Long and tall. Belly button toward the spine. Draw back. That deep muscle layer, if you tuck it back, you've got it. You've got a strong core, a stable core. 2 more. Walk, 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 walk. Okay, so those are your 4 easy steps. Now we start moving around a little. Here we go. Yeah. All right, 2 up and 2 back. Here it comes. So walk forward for 2. Back up 2 steps. Here's 1. Here's 2. Back up 1 and 2. Good. When we can move the body around in all the directions, all the muscles get involved. So a traditional walk doesn't use those backup muscles. And that's what I love about our program. We can do total body walking. All the muscles are involved. All the many directions. It's so strong. That's how you get fit. 1 more time. Okay, everybody's walking right here. Just pick up those feet. Now pick up feet. Little bit higher. 5 and 6. Okay, side steps again, guys. So step out. And again, you make it just a little wee bit wider. There you go. And we're going to wake up upper body. Just reach every time you step out. That's it. Reach, reach, reach. Wake up those arms. Wake up the shoulders. Tuck that tummy back. You'll have it nice and powerful for all the moves coming up. 2 more. Walk, 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 walk. And walk, walk, walk. Good. Tap out, guys. 4 and 3 and 2. Just touch the floor. Tap and tap. Good. You sit down in a little bit lower. Just get the feet working. Good job. 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, 3. Back to walks, 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 walks. Nice. Hey, guys, mini squats, and then we'll get some arm work into it. All you do is this. You just sit down into it and pop up. That's it. Kind of sit and pop up. That's it. Now, hey guys, a little lateral motion here. Just allow the arms to follow. Lift, lift, lift. There's a raise, 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 raise. Yeah, just 2 more times. Here's 1, here's 2. We walk, always back to walking. Good. Okay. A few minutes of a slow beat. That was the warm-up walk. Now we really start to get to the heart rate. Build that heart rate up where we need it. So we're sure we're going to get all the benefits from cardio exercise, aerobic exercise. But listen, when we can get that heart rate up, that's when we can really burn those calories. Here they go. 1, 2. Walk, walk, walk. You got it. There it is. That's the beat. All right, come on, put power into it, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I love to turn around and see those faces. Wow. There's a lot of beautiful people. Walk, 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 walk. Nice. Hey, guys, double side steps are coming up. Give me 4, 3, 2, a double side step. Step out 2 times. Come back this way 2 times. Good. We'll open up those arms. Here comes. Open and close. Open, close. Good. That's it. All muscles in motion. Go. I love the lateral movement. We don't do it all the time, so those muscles get conditioned. Out together, out together, out together, out together. One more set, all the way over. Come on back. Now walk, 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 walk. Walk, raise arms, raise them high, raise them. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Arms are down. Power walk, good. Knee lifts are coming, guys. 4 and 3 and 2. Now lift the knee. Let's get it working first. The knees come up strong. The trunk is tight and strong, so I want your alignment even straight up. Remember, don't tip back. Stay long and tall. Hands on your hips. Call in your rotator muscles. Isn't that something? All you have to do is change directions with your hands, and you can...
Welcome back. We're still here and it's Global Morning. How did you see those aerobics? I was actually telling myself it's time to move those body and just get it on the way.
Of course.
You saw the movement, right?
I saw them and they were really in
a
sync.
bit of that every now and then. Even though we're telling our viewers to keep their heads up and also join in this aerobics, but we need to also put that. Maybe someday we should get that.
It's set to bring it on set and show them practical. We're not just about the talk, we also do the
walk
work.
the talk.
Yes.
So we hope you exercise in a bit, just like she mentioned. All of those works with every part of your body, gets you settled in, gets your head up for the next week or the next activity ahead of you. It's a Sunday.
And you know, one thing about exercise is if you are really consistent, the body pain, the feeling a headache, and all those things, they disappear because most of them are regarded of you not keeping fit. So keeping fit is really, really important. It cannot be overemphasized.
Well, you need to keep fit, you need to look healthy, you need to look smart, you need to look agile and get your head up high. That's one of the reasons why we brought you the aerobics, to show you easy ways, easy steps, easy movements you can do with your body to keep you alive and strong.
Certainly.
That's just the way.
That's the essence.
That's the essence of aerobics. Aerobics is actually very instrumental to our body system and helps us stay fit. Yes. Stick to aerobics, do well with yourself, and be smart as always, and as beautiful and handsome as you can be. Okay? Well, Mukhtar, it's time to go into your favorite part.
My most favorite, the one I always look forward to, and that is the taste and texture segment.
Sadia, I hope that is waiting outside for me from the studio. So anytime I'm out of the studio.
Because it's always mouth-watering. We need to eat that food one of these days.
Yeah.
Or maybe even bring a chef to set. Who knows?
And just show you what it's like, you know, to have down for you. But it's a Sunday, and we're going to give you an idea of what Sadia has prepared for us as a meal. We're anticipating to see that, and hopefully maybe she has it for us out there, so we'll just walk into the kitchen or into the
dining room and go dine
and have a snack or a taste of what it is. Let's have Taste and Texture by Sadia. Stay with us.
Program Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing delicious Nigerian delicacy, and we will be preparing it from scratch. Preparing fried plantain and egg sauce is essential for making Nigerian traditional breakfast. To prepare fried plantain and egg sauce, you'll be needing 1. Some few pieces of fresh sweet ripe plantain. 2. A clean bowl and a knife. 3. A frying pan. 4. Oil. Procedure. 1. Cut or dice your ripe plantain. 2. Add salt. 3. On a low heat, fry your plantain in a hot oil. Fry till golden brown. How to make egg sauce step by step. 1. Wash and chop your vegetables. 2. Place frying pan with oil and onions on fire. 3. Add chopped sweet pepper. 4. Add chopped tomatoes and all veggies. 5. Add spices of your choice. 6. Add whisked eggs. 7. Stir for a few minutes. 8. Serve with fried plantain and egg sauce is ready. That is it for today's episode of the program, Taste and Texture. Hope you will try this recipe in your various homes and hope you enjoyed the program. Join me for another edition of the program. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.
This is not nice food. It's so inviting and it's saying, come to me.
Come to Papa.
Let's go. Please, let's wrap this up and go and sit on that meal. How was that? That preparation steps are actually very easy. We're telling you that it's a Sunday. Instead of getting used to the just regular Sunday rice, you should just try something different.
Of course.
This is actually very inviting.
And one thing I liked about it, it's easy peasy. It's not, you don't have to be a master chef to be able to prepare this. And I think I would actually actualize it and go do that for myself after this program, certainly.
Okay, if that doesn't have it waiting for us.
If she doesn't, even if she does, if food is good, you eat it twice.
Okay, that's a new one for me. If food's good, eat it twice. So thank you so much, Sadia, for bringing that our way. We hope our viewers will also put a touch to their regulars for Sunday, because we know it's usually the Sunday rice, but we're going to try something. We're good with eating rice, but let's try something new and add more nutrients to our system. There you have a combination of iron, you have protein, you have the veggies, all of that, fat and oil as well.
Everything you need for a balanced diet.
Exactly. So
it's there.
With that, you should look for a hot coffee. I don't know how it's like outside there, but here it's still
chilly. It's actually chilly. It is chilly.
Either you do coffee or you do hot chocolates for yourself.
Or even if it's tea that you like, whatever your variant is.
Just work with it, because this meal will just suit every kind of soft or hot.
Well, I'll go for hot because the weather is,
Okay, so it's been an amazing ride here on Global Morning. We've had an amazing segments across all our discussions.
Certainly. I've learned so much about religious tolerance and, of course, sports, the Super Eagles, and how they were able to scale through. And hopefully, we're able to meet the World Cup and qualify.
Okay, I was telling Mr. Patrick, Patrick that came on set with me, I said, I'm going to hold him accountable, because he said he's very convinced that either we're getting to win South Africa in their home or we get a draw, because
like he said we haven't lost.
We haven't lost in 13 times.
We have a good record.
Nigerian Super Eagles are playing well. If you're jetting with South Africa because of what's happening with our players.
It is, but like you said, history is on our side. Okay. So I hope one more time history is going to favor us and take us to the promised land, which is obviously the World Cup.
I hope it favors us like it did with Spofocons. I did very well, became 10 times
champions
in Africa. So we look forward to a good outing for our Super Eagles. Just like our guest said, that he's hopeful and he knows, and he also talked about the growth of grassroots. How grassroots is evolving from the NLO to the NNL, to the MPFL, and how talents are being discovered. The challenge is funding. In a good combination of public-private partnership and the government will also ease the workload and ensure that the players are excited going to represent Nigeria across the world. Because if the talents are discovered, how do you develop them?
we talked about talent, and if you look at all the big nations, the Spains, the Germany, they have a very solid grassroots, and that's why they've attained success winning the World Cup multiple times. So for Nigeria to get that success we need to get, grassroots has to be sorted out. It has to be something that is not negotiable.
It's not
We have to get it right there.
Okay, we'll get it right, hopefully. And don't forget, we had a conversation around freedom of religion, and it was actually insightful, where the focus is humanity, tolerance, and the need for we to embrace each other as one, and seeing the essence of capacity in giving out Nigerians the best when it comes to governance, leadership, and all of those encompassing for Nigerians. Let's embrace one another, because we always promote peace.
And yet, we've always said it, Nigeria, for we to get right as a nation, one of the bedrock is unity. One of the bedrock is progress. And progress cannot be attained where there is no unity, where there is religious intolerance, where there is conflict. We cannot get progress. You go and check every nation that has advanced. They've been able to put aside their differences. We're not the most diverse nation. We have other countries. America is much more diverse than Nigeria. But they were able to have a common goal, which is the fact that we want to be the best nation in the world. So let's come together in spite of our differences. So Nigeria can take a cue from those nations and replicate that. We come together as one for the greater good of Nigeria, regardless of our differences.
Okay, regardless of our differences, we can be one, and we can stand tall and remain as a giant of Africa.
That we are.
And set the pace anytime, any day. Well, this is where we'll draw the curtains today on Global Morning. Thank you for being a part of the programming. Please stay on Global TV every hour as we bring you the best of programming on the station.
Certainly. Have a great weekend and stay out of trouble, most importantly.
All right, it's a new week. Get started, set your act together, get everything you need so you don't say, I didn't pack this, I didn't pack that. It's a new week. Do have a lovely day of you. My name is Anita Patrick.
And I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Bye for now.